decade. Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer Podcast. I'm Charles, aka the Handsome Homebuyer, aka Captain Permit, aka
El Judío Maravilloso.
Do you know what that means?
No.
The Marvelous Jew.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
You know who else you'd like if you met him? Captain Permit. 516-513-8838. If you need plans, if you need permits, commercial, residential, anything, you got town drama, you want to call the captain. He's going to fly in. He leaps tall buildings in a single bound. He saves the day sometimes. Give us a call, 516-513-8838. If you have houses that smell like cat pee, dated from the 1960s, 6 inches of mold on the wall, commercial property, like I'm hoping to squeeze out of our guest today, I want to buy it, 516-777, sold. All right. So today's guest I've been chasing again for, this is like the week of guys that I've been chasing down for 6 months. I've been chasing you for like 6 months.
About, yeah.
First it was cold, then it was no, then it was who's this creepy Jewish guy who wants to get me in a small room and a microphone and record me. Then it was allergy season, and then finally you just gave in.
That was bad.
All right, so today's guest, in my opinion, top 3 most handsome men in the commercial real estate space. Great head of hair. 42 years, 42?
Yeah.
But an OG at 42, which it's crazy to say that myself at 39, we're getting to the OG status. In my opinion, one of the top commercial investment real estate sales firms. People, if you are in the commercial real estate space and you want to buy quality product, quality distressed cat pee smelling commercial buildings, this is the guy you want to talk to. Anthony, and I'm gonna do my Italian arm thing. Ciafardoni from Silver Investment Properties.
Did it.
You
Good
got
job.
that? You like
Yeah.
that?
You did it well.
That's why I did it a couple times. So I'm like, by the third time, I'm gonna be authentic, and I'm gonna think of like my favorite Italian dish while I do it.
Yeah.
So,
homeland will be proud of you.
But you can. Do you speak Italian?
No.
No. You could be like you could be Middle Eastern. You could be Greek. You could be Italian. You could be Jewish.
Oh yeah.
I would claim you.
I'm like a chameleon.
Yeah, you could. But what I really want to know is the hair. Talk to me about
Jeans.
the hair. The jeans?
Yeah. My dad had a big head of hair. I'm lucky.
Let's talk commercial real estate. You ready?
You can get a wig.
Yeah, but it wouldn't look. You know what I can actually do lately? Quick side story. So Facebook knows I'm bald.
Okay.
I don't know how Facebook knows I'm bald. So now Facebook is sending me ads to tattoo little dots on my head.
God.
Did you see this?
That's creepy.
Have you seen it?
No, it's just that Facebook does that is creepy to me.
So I have a buddy who basically told me that there is, and he's got confirmation because he works high up in tech. I can't just divulge because he'll get in trouble. But that thing has a microphone that basically records us all the time.
Okay.
So, and we tested this theory. So we tested it where I was like,
I want to go to Disney. Yeah, I did that too.
I was like, I really want to buy a Mazda Miata. And then we look on Facebook and there's an ad for a Mazda Miata. I'm like, dude, that's not a coincidence.
Cool.
That is not a coincidence. The man is watching all the time, listening all the time. He's probably listening now. Look.
No, I was going to say that hopefully you keep asking for properties. They'll come your way.
Hold on. Give me great deals on investment properties. Give me multifamily and small apartment buildings that stink like cat pee at 30 cents on a dollar. I'm going to check into this podcast.
It's coming.
It's over. Commercial real estate. All right. I want to know. See, I know you. We had like a bonding session not that long ago, but now we're gonna delve deep.
Okay.
We're gonna delve deep. Don't be nervous.
Fine.
So, 20-year illustrious career. Thus far, at only 42 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So you got another 40, 50, 60-year run left in you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? At a time where people typically jump from like career to career to career every or at least company to company to company every few years.
Yeah.
Especially in the real estate space. Like I noticed that we had Larry, Larry Theodore? Oh, I told you about Larry Theodore. Larry Theodore, OG, 65 years old, in the business 30 years. And he's been in the same place for 33 years, same office. But in real estate, I feel like there's not like a tremendous amount of broker loyalty.
No.
So, I guess I want to know, local Long Island guy, grew up here.
Yeah.
How did you get into commercial real estate? Because you got into commercial real estate at 22, 23.
Yeah, right out of college.
What year was it?
99.
So you got into commercial real estate in 99, right out of college, right before the dot-com bubble blew.
Yes.
So let's say you're getting you have 2 years before that happens. I'm sure it takes this is a really hard gig because there's no pay, it's commission only. Mm-hmm. And commercial real estate is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in college. I was going for finance. Mm-hmm. And I know everyone seemed to be going to Wall Street. I wanted to get into Wall Street. I got interview at Merrill Lynch. Didn't get the job. I was pretty pissed off about it. But somewhere in the back of my head, I kind of always wanted to do real estate. I liked the idea of it.
Okay.
So my brother-in-law knew Adam Silver from where I'm working now.
Okay.
And I'm like, I want to get into real estate. Where should I go? He goes, you want to do residential or commercial? I mean, what's the difference? Residential is more emotion. It's after hours, weekends, if you're a broker.
Yeah.
Right? I just wanted to deal in business. I wanted to do 9 to 5. I wanted my weekends free. So I went commercial, and he's like, you got to talk to Adam Silver. And that was it. I went in, talked to Adam. He only sold strip malls on Long Island. That's all we did.
That was his niche?
It was him, 2 other guys, and he's like, I got 1 desk open. You want to come?
How long has Silver been in business for?
Since the 80s. 87, I think.
Shit.
Yeah. You got to get him on next.
Yeah? I would love to. I've never met him.
He's fun.
I'm just thinking about how 87, the Mets won in 86. I feel like I was a person alive then, and now 86 is a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess the first question I have as you're going through that. So, commercial real estate has always traditionally been set up kind of like a regular corporate 9 to 5 type job. So
yeah. Well, it's like you in residential, you're showing homes. You can only show homes to people after they're done with work.
Yeah.
Right?
So no, I have that burden to my mind. Even now, I'll call brokers again, like we were talking about before. Nobody calls me back during the week, but they're definitely not going to call me back on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you see the industry changing in that respect? Do you see are people still sticking to that 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, or with technology, social media, competition, is it starting to?
No, I don't think it's changing that much. People still, in commercial at least, I know most of the work gets done Monday through Friday. Okay. On the weekends, I'll get some calls. Sometimes I'll take them, sometimes I won't. I like to just be more present with my kids.
Yeah.
No, on the weekends. And people are cool about it. As long as I call somebody back on a Monday, it's not a big deal.
Oh, it's interesting. Did you ever sell any residential real estate?
I sold 1 apartment building.
Talk to me about. Oh no, I mean
like
a house or something.
No.
Nah.
Never. Nope.
So yeah, I guess that's like you were saying before. That's a big thing that I don't think people realize. So there's a huge difference between commercial and residential in regards to who you're dealing with and the process. Mm-hmm. Some parts of it for me are really frustrating, which we'll talk about. Some parts are amazing. Like you were saying, it's not emotional.
Yeah, it's all numbers. I mean, there's a little bit of emotion. You're selling a strip center, and for whatever reason, somebody shopped there when they were a kid, so they're willing to overpay for it a little bit because they want to own it.
Really?
There's a little ego emotion in it.
I can see that.
Not a lot. It's not like a home, but there is a little bit.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Your particular primary niche within commercial is, I mean, I know you do everything, but
yeah. So I'll just tell you how I started out. I started out just strip malls, right? Any local strip mall in Long Island, there's a zillion of them, right?
It's the land of strip malls.
It's the land of strip malls.
Long Island is the land of strip malls.
Yeah. So, and back then there was not a lot of computer and email stuff going on. The internet was new. Adam took me in and he's like, basically, go down Jericho Turnpike, Old Country Road, Sunrise Highway, and I'd get in my car and I'd stop at every strip mall and I'd go into the stores and ask for the landlord's phone number.
Wow.
Yeah. And it sucked. I hated it. It was so uncomfortable. And I'm like...
That shit probably changed your life though, bro.
I learned so much because you consider me like a mellow guy now. I was really shy back then.
Wow.
And I hated doing it. I'd have to go in and I'd go to a deli and there's 10 people online. So I'd sit and wait online.
Let me get an egg sandwich and the landlord's phone number.
And then And then $10 for whatever I buy, and then no, I'm not giving out the landlord's phone number. It's like, fuck.
And this
I got to go to the next store.
So this was before they had a lot of those like computer programs and things that could allow you to access this kind of information.
Way before.
Yeah. This is like, did you have a beeper back then? You did, didn't you?
I did have a beeper.
You had a beeper.
Yeah, that was beeper time.
Yeah. Shit. Did you have the one in the case that goes on the side that pulls out, or did you have the one that slides into your pocket? Like
I had the one with the clip.
That went into your pocket, or the one where it pulled out? You didn't have the drug dealer beeper. You weren't on that.
No, I just had like the doctor beeper maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's just a clip.
Yeah.
And you get the numbers across.
Yeah.
That
143. I love you. What were the other ones? Were there any other ones?
No, that's the one I remember.
That was the only one?
Yeah.
143. I don't know. Fuck, I miss those days. So you're.
It's not easier.
Dude, and
so I had
how long did that go on for before you actually, let's say, got a landlord's phone number and then actually got a landlord to commit to you?
I'd spend a whole day going down to each strip mall, getting numbers, and at the end of the day, I'd come back and write them all down, put them in my. I didn't even have a computer. I had a little organizer. Put the name, number, 650 Jericho Turnpike, Chinese video rental, stationery store
/ rub and tug joint.
And I put the guy's number in, call him up. Hi, do you want to sell? No. Next. And I just do that every day.
Wow.
Building up phone numbers, calling them.
How long did it take before you got the first person to be like, yeah?
Actually, like maybe 1 or 2 months.
Wow, that's really fast, man.
Yeah, but then the deal actually didn't close for like 9 months after that.
But that's still huge. I mean, you converted really fast. Most guys I talk to in the commercial space are like, I didn't get someone to like want to sell shit for like over a year.
Yeah. I mean,
so 2 months is a big conversion.
You have to be on the phone all the time.
It's 24/7.
It's hard work.
Well,
it's not hard work like jumping on a roof and being a roofer. Hard work, but it's like mentally hard.
Yeah, it's like brain dead. I'm sure there's some days, and that's what I want to say to you. Like, I wanted to ask you because you have to have like ultimate belief in what you're doing.
Yeah.
When you're in a business like that, where you're like, I'm not getting. So basically, you didn't get paid for a year.
Yeah, 9 months.
Well, 2 months to get the property, and then 9 months
and then
later.
It was 9 months total.
Okay.
9-10 months total.
It's actually a pretty fast turnaround time for your first deal.
Yeah.
But again, how many people can go for 10 months without a paycheck?
I was lucky enough to be living with my parents.
God, I miss those fucking days.
Yeah.
I would go back right now.
They paid, they pretty much covered everything for me. And my girlfriend, who's my wife now, was home with her parents. She was working. We didn't really have big needs, so when we go out, she actually paid, which was cool. Yeah, it was very simple. My parents were really cool about it. My mom wanted me to go to grad school, but I considered that my grad school.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of took off step by step.
I mean, were there any? You got that deal pretty early on, like in contract. But I mean, I'm curious to kind of know, and I think I want people to understand what the mindset has to be like the ups, the kind of downs during a 9-month period where you're not making any money, but you have this belief that like this is going to work. Because in commercial, even though you're in contract,
right,
that deal could die at any second in commercial.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm trying to put myself back into that mindset back then. I saw it worked for Adam, and he did the same thing. So I said to myself, if he did it, I can do it, as long as I just do everything that he tells me to do.
Wow.
Right? I just kind of believed in that. Luckily enough, my brother-in-law, he steered me in his direction, so I trusted him giving me Adam.
Okay.
And then I didn't want to let anybody down. I didn't want to let myself down, and I wanted to be successful.
Interesting.
I wanted to make it.
Yeah.
So I was very open just to learning, like a sponge.
Was there any time during like the first, like I would say 2 years of that you were like questioning, should I have done this? Is this going to work?
Yeah. All the time.
So, I mean, what did you do? How did you get through it?
Pushing forward.
You just like...
And I kept seeing like he did it, so just keep going. If he can do it, you can do it.
And here we are 20 years later.
Yeah.
And you're the man in an OG.
That's pretty cool.
Right? What
I haven't even thought about that. But
Yeah, it goes fast.
It's gone really fast.
How have you seen the industry change in general over the last 20 years? I mean, technology, especially now pouring in, has got to be changing what you guys do.
Yeah.
Brokers are looking to push, I see, more of like the national level, like where they're like, I don't need to just be leasing or selling here in Long Island or whatever. I can do this for you as a national or as this or that across the country.
Well, so we just do the investment sales.
Yeah.
Right. I don't do any leasing, but we started out in strip malls, which is kind of a local thing. If you're a landlord, you need to be going to your building every once in a while, collecting rents or whatever, dealing with stuff. If you own a net lease, say CVS, where they take care of the parking lot, they take care of the roof, they just wire the rent every month, you could own it in any state. You could be anywhere.
Exactly.
And we saw a market to that, and there was a lot of people that wanted that. There was demand. And we started doing that here, and then it kind of grew out to national. That's like half our business now, is net lease out of state.
So explain to people. So by that, I assume you mean triple net.
Triple net, yeah.
So explain to people, because this is, if you're looking for just like a truly passive investment vehicle and you want to own real estate and you want to reap all the benefits of that, like, explain to people a little bit more like what a triple net setup is and how they can feel comfortable owning a CVS in Idaho that they never see.
Right. CVS corporate guarantees the lease. So if it's like, if you own an apartment building, you have to chase Johnny for rent because he's had a bad month. You're never going to get that problem unless CVS declares bankruptcy. And CVS has good corporate credit.
Yeah.
So the chances are that you're never going to have to worry about that. And that changes the cap rate on a deal. So CVS owns leases the property from you. Triple net meaning everything, all the rent is net to you. They take care of snow plowing. They take care of insurance. They pay the real estate taxes. You truly don't have to do anything.
And you're just...
And the rent is guaranteed by CVS Corporation.
Yeah. Typically for a very long period of time.
Yeah. If it's a 20-year lease, it's 20 years.
And so basically they you don't do a thing. You can come out there and check it periodically, but ultimately you're just... You don't
even have to look at it, but people do like to see and touch whatever.
And you get the tax benefits.
It's a good property for someone who's selling an apartment building. They're getting older. They don't want to manage anything anymore. So they sell it. They do a 1031 exchange where they defer the capital gains tax if they own the apartment building forever. They want to still get income. It's easy for someone just to buy a net lease anywhere. It's just a good way of not paying capital gains tax or just delaying it, still owning real estate. You get maybe a less return on your investment, but it's just there's just a lot of demand for it, especially for people from around here.
I want to talk a little bit about cap rates. So I do a continuing ed class to realtors, and I teach them how to passively invest in real estate, and I always try to explain cap rates to them, and they always say to me, they're like, well, how do you know? I'm like, well, there's an equation you can reverse engineer, but in general, if you speak to the broker, like if you want to buy strip malls, and somebody calls you, you can basically explain to them what a type of an asset class, a type, is it A, is it B, is it C, strip mall in a certain area is selling at a certain cap rate. Yeah. Because based on previous sales.
Based on other comps.
Exactly.
Yeah. So a strip mall in Manhasset is going to go for a lower cap rate than a strip mall in
Wyandanch.
Yeah. Or way out east where, just a poor neighborhood. It doesn't mean it's worse. It's just there's just more demand to own the more prime real estate.
Yeah, and it's just a measurement of like risk and return, essentially.
Risk and return. Yeah.
Risk and return. It's like I always try to tell people, like, listen, think lower cap rates. You think the lower the cap rate, the more expensive the property, the less cash flow you get, the lower the risk.
The safer the asset.
Exactly. So it's like if you're on Park Avenue, Manhattan, you were in a 2 cap. If you're in Detroit in 2009, you're probably at a 50 cap. Not anymore, but that's the way the cap rate.
That's how it works.
So let's talk about the commercial real estate world. Well, actually, I want to go back to something else. So I know your mentor is in sales. You guys are an investment house. Did you focus in on that just because you were introduced to him and he was your mentor?
Yeah.
Did you play with leasing, or did you play with industrial, and this just happened to be your niche, and why do you like it so much?
I was introduced to him, and that's what he was doing, strip malls. And then over the course of time, I actually got into the net lease stuff because I saw that people wanted it. A lot of the same owners of strip malls owned a net lease, whatever, 7-Eleven.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the same guys that own like the Rub and Tug joint own like a CVS or a 7-Eleven or a Starbucks or something like that.
Mostly, yeah. Yeah. It's
interesting.
Yeah. So it's just I just wanted more product.
Huh.
So I started going after those, and then that became successful. We were selling those easier than strip malls, and then there's only so many of them on Long Island. We started growing out of state because we just wanted more. We wanted to get bigger. We wanted to sell more.
And now you guys are nationwide.
Yeah.
So the cool thing that comes with being an OG is the experience of seeing so much shit. So I envy you for this because I've been in real estate for 5 years. So I haven't been through a real estate market crash correction. Mm-hmm. I'm not dating you, bro. You're not old. You look at me like, motherfucker, really? I'm curious to know, talk to me about the 20-year track record of the market. You've seen a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You've come in on the dot-com bubble high where guys were getting stock tips and buying mailmen were buying Ferraris. Right. Then 9/11 hits, the dot-com bubble hits. Mm-hmm. Then it's flying again. Mm-hmm. And I would argue at that time, 2003, 2004, real estate prices skyrocketed, and even though they tanked during the Great Recession, they never really came down to an affordable level again. If you kind of look at the track record of commercial real estate sales, when I look at it, stuff was pretty affordable for a long period of time. It was people weren't really hip to that game that much.
Right.
And then all of a sudden 2003, 2004 came, prices went fucking this, and even though they came down, stuff is still really expensive. The cap rates are low.
Cap rates are based on interest rates.
Yes.
So, I don't know, 9/11, I saw a slowdown for a few months. People were just nervous and scared. They didn't know what to do, so no one wanted to buy or sell anything. Going into 2004, we were active. There was a lot of, the economy was good. I know houses were going up like this. Office buildings were going up like this. In the Great Recession, office buildings crashed hard.
Yeah.
Houses crashed hard. Retail, my world, slowed down a lot. We had a couple of hard years, two slow years.
What was that like? What was it like during that time?
Prices didn't totally crash because interest rates went down.
Yeah. So
that helped us a lot.
What was it like during that 2-year period? Was it you can't do any business at all? It's just we're just...
You're calling people on the phone and seeing if they want to sell their properties, and they're like, no, this is done well for me all these years, and now the world's going to shit. This is my one constant. I love this thing. I'm not selling it.
Wow.
It's like my teddy bear. I'm not getting rid of it.
But did they have a lot of vacancies? Were they just holding on?
Yeah, there was. Some people that did want to sell had vacancies. It's the guys that wanted to sell because they're starting to lose tenants. Nobody wanted to buy those buildings, so they were harder to sell. And then that's when, because of the lower interest rates and people during a bad time wanted to rush to gold, they saw net lease assets as gold.
Interesting.
It was safety. So that part of the business started going up a lot.
So the cap rate started compressing on those things.
Yeah.
I remember at that time, I wasn't in real estate at that time, and I really wish I was. Not before it, just after it, obviously. But I remember seeing cap rates on Class A and triple net properties at 9, 10 around here, and then they just am I making that up? Is that high?
No, that was a little high, but still they were
high. But they were way higher than they are today.
Yeah, they were higher than they are now.
And then all of a sudden, you see them starting to compress, and that's how people can really, really make a lot of money. Because obviously, the higher the cap rate, the more cash, the cheaper the asset. Mm-hmm. As cap rates compress, the value goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but was there any time during that 2-year period where you're just like, Jesus, are we going to get through this? Like, how do you power through the world coming to an end in that kind of industry?
Personal development. You know?
And at that point,
motivation
at that point, you have full-blown family, kids, right?
Yeah.
And
I was building a house.
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because things were awesome. You were like, this is sick. Let's
And then all of a sudden, I'm going to build a house. And all of a sudden, so whatever. You just deal with it like life. I don't know. It's all, I think, I was just telling my son last night. It's like things come at you all the time. It's going to happen to you in your life. It's the difference of how you deal with these things. Do you let it affect you or do you not? You focus on the positives.
Do I want to have kids?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You seem like a kick-ass dad. Like, you're that guy.
I love it. I love my kids. I mean, it's hard work, but
You have
it's so rewarding.
a son and a daughter?
2 sons and a daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
The sons have hair like that?
Yeah, they're gonna be good.
How did you get the boys?
How?
Yeah.
Remember the part where you told me you didn't want to talk about certain things?
Oh, okay. Offline, you'll tell me?
Yeah.
That's my thing, man. Anybody who knows me, Lord knows Maddie does. His head drops every time he goes, I know where this is going. Talk to me about, so you're essentially, I mean, and you started as the king of retail. I'll call you the king of retail. For me, you're the king of retail.
For you, all right, fine.
All right?
For you, I am.
I know you're modest, but you're the king of retail. Retail's obviously, like, that's the talk. Like, retail is, I have my own theory on retail. Like, people are like, retail's dying. I was like, retail's not dying, bro. I was like, retail, in my opinion, the entire world is doing a reset right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
nobody knows for sure where it's going to go, and I certainly don't. I have my own opinions. I think, a lot of the big box stores are going to have trouble, especially their landlords. And if you're lucky enough to own a property without a lot of debt on it, you can afford to lower your rents to accommodate tenants. Because
is that what you see people doing?
That's what I see people doing who can afford to do it. Because that's where, like going back to our previous, we had a couple of slowdowns in retail. Thank God, because of interest rates being low, our business never totally crashed. And retail was not like office where that market just was, I think it's still recovering on Long Island. What was I saying? Oh, so retail, the rents were going up in, 2003, 2005, 2006. But now, because of the internet and Amazon and everything, it will affect rents. And somebody who's getting huge rents somewhere selling... their tenants selling knickknacks that Amazon can sell, they will get hurt. It's guaranteed. I really think that's like the one thing you got to say is guaranteed. So if you're a landlord, you have to lower your rents over time.
Is that true for like Class A, top-notch locations
I think so,
as well? You see rents going down across the board in retail regardless of location or condition?
Yeah.
Because medical seems to be paying some serious money.
Medical, yeah. So if you're lucky enough to have a property where you can accommodate a different use, when I think of retail, I'm talking about retail. I'm talking about selling items, right? Okay. I'm not talking about like...
You're talking about more mom and pop retail or even big box stuff?
More big box because they have higher...
Oh, sorry, I'm flexing for Maddie.
No, sorry. You go.
No, keep going.
You want I'm talking about the big box. They have just a lot of overhead, a lot of expenses. Specialty retail where it's like a mom and pop store. I still think there's a use for
interesting, right?
Right. Like I have a guy near me sells boat supply stuff.
Okay.
I go to him because he's knowledgeable. So I'm like, I got this thing. Can you? What do I need for this? He's like, get one of these, and even if he doesn't carry it in the store, he'll order it and I'll get it the next day.
Yeah.
So it's like his expertise is
value. That's more of like, well, when you go shopping, like when you bought that shirt, did you order online? Did you go to the store?
I don't know. My wife, I think, got it online.
Oh, I love her, man.
Oh, she's great.
Does she cook for you too?
Great cook,
bro. She's Italian?
Yeah. Like,
wow. Yeah. You got a good one, man.
Yeah.
I got a really good one too. Italian cooks for me too.
Uh-huh.
I'm liking this one. So what I was trying to get at is because we're kind of we're not old, but we missed that whole I do everything online generation. So I was just curious to know, is it?
It's a little bit of.
But that's kind of like an experience. Like that guy is experienced retail.
Yeah.
So he can weather the storm because he has the knowledge, and you can go in there and like bounce stuff off from about your boat or this or that.
So and then places like a food establishment or a gym.
Yeah.
They're not going to go down. I don't think I can't see how they get affected. So if you're lucky enough to be able to get those kind of tenants in your building, you'll be fine.
The thing that I find interesting is 20 years ago, you didn't want like a barber, a restaurant, or whatever. You didn't want a mom and pop retail. You wanted like Best Buy. And then in actuality today, the barber and the mom and pops are less risky to a certain extent.
They could be, yeah.
Those small like 12 to 2,200 square foot spaces.
Yes.
That's really what you want.
Yeah. You're not getting it all from one tenant as opposed to 5 different rents. It's like you're diversified.
Talk to me about big box and going dark and how you see people repositioning those things, or when you're selling those, what kind of ideas do you hear from people of like what they want to do with them, if any?
I don't hear that much about it. I mean, we're usually just strictly like, if we get like a 20-year lease, we're still selling those to certain guys. That would be more for like a leasing guy, that question. Okay. They're more on the ground level, but I do see like, their guys they'll get a big box and they'll have to cut it up and make the tenant smaller and put in a gym, put in a smaller grocer, put in whatever, not Blockbuster Video.
The guys that are buying from you that like are buying the more vacant stuff, do they typically have a tenant in their pocket, or are they just kind of grabbing their balls and jumping and going on spec? Do you see more of like, or are you selling stuff that's like partially occupied? Like the distressed stuff is partially occupied, partially not, so they already have certain income and then they're marketing the rest of it?
Yeah, there's a range. There's the guy the developer who has a tenant in his pocket and he's buying a building with a purpose. Or somebody who's just like, I like the corner, I know I'll get a tenant. Or I like this property, I know that I'll get a tenant at some point. I'm buying it cheap enough and it's a desirable location.
So I have a theory, and I'm curious to know if you would probably have the answer to this. That's why I'm asking. So I have a theory where I feel like there's a niche that has less people in it. Meaning, like, if you're buying a building that's under $1 million, there's guys that aren't professional investors that can buy that building or pool funds. So there's like a lot of people that are out there looking for stuff like that. Then on the flip side, if you're like 10 million plus or 8 million plus, whatever the number is, you have like bigger institutional guys. But I feel in my mind that there's kind of like a middle ground where it's too big for the little guy, but too small for the big guy.
Right.
And that like has opportunity there. Did I make that up, or is that like a real thing?
No, that makes sense. If there's less competition as a buyer for property, you can, I guess, relatively get a better deal.
Yeah, that's like kind of what I'm hoping for. I haven't really proved that yet, but I'm always looking for like the angles where I can get in where other people aren't.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the commercial real estate industry in general is very, very different than the residential. Aside from the whole like emotion numbers thing, it's like, last I heard, I don't know if these stats are right. There's 30,000 realtors on Long Island.
Okay.
I heard there's like 300 or 400 commercial agents, like real commercial agents.
I don't even know if it's that many.
I
guess maybe if you count office leasing guys and industrial guys.
All those guys. So very, very small group of people. You guys kind of all know each other because you work together all the time, I would imagine. But it's like, it's a totally different business. And sometimes downright really frustrating for me, which is, like we were talking about before, the attorneys don't send that, like, you get an accepted offer, here you are a month later, the attorney still hasn't sent the contract out. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
I don't know what they do.
I mean, you and I formed a relationship because you and I are like very similar. I'll email you, hit me back. I call you, we set up a meeting, we met, like you're on it, like you're pushing people. If you have commercial real estate that you want to sell as an investment property, this is the guy. Because he's the only person that calls you back. It's freaking crazy. I call dozens of people, try to set up meetings, try to give them business. They don't call back. And then if you're trying to get information like on comps and leasing numbers and all kinds of shit, it's not really out there.
No, it's not. It's still information for commercial is hard to find. You have to really dig for it.
Yeah, it's like everything is like super close to the vest.
Looking at your doll?
No, I thought he opened the window. Yes, I have an action figure, people. We're going to post that online in a minute. it's a totally different world. So
Yeah.
you can't easily. There are a lot of agents that try to jump and do both.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. It's a totally different animal.
No, you can't. You really can't. They're two different industries entirely. I don't know a lot about selling homes. I don't want to know. It's not what I do. I don't even want to know a lot about leasing because it's not what I do.
So
I don't even sell I try not to. I usually don't sell the cat piss buildings that you're looking for. I'm gonna sell
I'm hopeful.
your finished product when that building's done.
Yes.
And you have a tenant in there. That's when you call me.
Huh.
That's my thing.
Do you see the marketing of product changing, or is it still pretty much status quo of how it's been?
No, it's totally changed. I mean, when I started out, we were faxing listings, 1 page, rent roll, expenses, price, couple of notes. You put it in the fax machine, and it goes out.
Jesus Christ!
And now,
what did you do? Just fax it to broker after broker after broker?
Not brokers, owners, buyers.
Okay.
Buyer list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you weren't advertising on the MLS, you weren't advertising on CoStar or LoopNet.
No. That was even before CoStar and LoopNet.
So you had to go out and then build a buyer's list.
You have to build just a list. And hey, do you want to sell? No, I'm looking to buy. Okay, now you're on the buyer's list, and you get a property, and then you send it to your buyers. You fax it to your buyers.
When did that change? Meaning, when did online become huge? 2003, 2004, 2005?
Yeah.
Which makes sense because this makes sense about why prices start that's why it wasn't as competitive because you basically drove up and down Sunrise Highway all day every day.
Because there was no book to get these people's numbers, so less people did it, and that's what I loved about it.
Fuck, I wish I was alive at that time. You know how much money you could have made? So basically, if I know you and there's no computers, you know I buy stuff.
Yes.
You find stuff and call me, and nobody else really gets to see it.
That simple, yeah.
Yeah, and
not simple, but it's
You actually didn't have the medium to put it out there to more people. It didn't exist.
Right.
So it was a true insider's business.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's harder for brokers to get in. It was harder for buyers to get in there. Now it's definitely different. There's more brokers. It's information is just everywhere. But still, it's as a buyer of properties or as a broker, you got to be able to work hard. If that guy's not calling you back, he's probably not doing as well.
What is your opinion? My opinion on the close to the vest thing is, I feel that it harms the industry in general.
What do you mean by that? Close to the
vest? Information. So if CoStar, if a property gets, I'll use leasing for a minute.
Yeah.
If CoStar, with sales, you can check later on in public record. So there's a delay, but you can find it.
Yeah.
But in the leasing space, if CoStar wants to report how much that office building leased for, they have to call a leasing broker and they have to tell them and be honest and say this is what it did.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're never going to find out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff where there's a lot of product that never makes it to the street. Anything that's good, it's still handled in a similar way.
Yeah.
Which I kind of feel harms the industry. I feel the sharing of information and knowledge and the accessibility just ultimately makes it evolve, makes it better. People make more money, etc. But this is one of those industries that just isn't. It's not really changing.
It's changing a little bit. It's always lagging behind everything else. It's just a world of private guys that own buildings that they don't want to share the information. It's their property. It's
exactly.
Especially in New York, it's why are you calling me? Leave me alone.
Yeah.
People are just it's none of your business.
But so when I look at stuff like that, I see opportunity. I'm all right, how do we either take advantage of this situation or how do we change that? How do you develop a product to then change that scenario, to put more data out there for people, to make it more readily available so that it essentially revolutionizes the industry? I don't know. I see commercial real estate as this giant opportunity, and if you're willing to bust your ass, you can really do big things.
Yeah, that's all it is. The harder you work, the better you'll be.
What would you say to a residential agent who's not full of shit, who really wants to do commercial? They're listen, or somebody who's never done real estate and they're I want to be a commercial agent, broker. What's the path for them? What would you recommend for them?
Just what I did, not going from strip mall to strip mall, but just work hard. be a good person and work hard and don't get down when things are done, because it's just like this, the whole experience.
And you have to have a certain kind of mentality.
You have to work hard.
I mean, that's got it. That's the key to everything.
Yeah. You don't have to be the smartest person. You just have to be trustworthy and hardworking. If you're those two, I think you'll do fine. And
you have to be comfortable with the fact, like, a lot of people aren't comfortable with the fact that you're not getting a paycheck every week.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's that too.
You have to, but if you work hard, when you do get them, it makes up for it. So it's just a certain mentality. Yeah. At the end of the year, if you're looking to make $100,000,
be good at budgeting your money.
Yeah. If at the end of if your goal is to make $100,000 a year, you can either sell houses and make $5,000 at a clip, or work in any kind of business or and get a paycheck every week, or you could sell X amount of properties that come in, and it's just a mindset. It's just a mentality. It's just a matter of like what you like to do, what makes you tick,
right? What
makes you happy,
right?
Last question. What is the next? I mean, you're 20 years into the industry, still a young guy. What do the next 20 years look like?
For me personally?
Yeah, in whatever you want to throw it out there, in a personal space, in a professional space, in real estate, commercial, anything.
Keep working hard and hopefully save enough money so I don't have to work another 20 years after that. I don't know. I want to fish more.
Do you personally invest in real estate? In the space that you're comfortable with? Like you use the knowledge and information that you have.
Exactly.
Which is smart.
So I do what I know. Right. I get into what I know.
Which is smart.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I try to tell a lot of agents. I'm like, listen, you guys have access to a ton of information, clients, other agents. Use that to because no one's going to take care of us in retirement. That's for damn sure. Use that to invest in real estate in a smart way, in a JV structure, in a private lending structure, in whatever it is.
Yeah, leave your commission in a deal if you're a broker.
Yeah.
Get pieces here and there.
And investors, be open to sharing with agents. There's agents that want to get involved and are great at what they do, and you're good at what you do. There's no reason why there can't be some kind of JV or partnership or setup there that's mutually beneficial for everybody.
It's a relationship business, yeah.
Bro, you're the fucking man.
No, I'm not.
You are. It was 6. How long have I been chasing you? 6 months? Was it 6 months?
Sure.
At least 6 months.
Yeah.
It might be more. 6 months worth of wait. A lot of awesome information. I really appreciate it. Keep up with the hair. If people want to get in touch with you, are you guys taking on agents? Like, do you?
Yeah, we're looking for guys.
If you're taking on agents, if you want to be trained by the best of the best in investment sales space, commercial real estate sales space, Silver Investment Properties, how do they get in touch with you?
516-864-8000.
Or any social media stuff?
Silverproperties.com.
So, do you guys have an Instagram?
I don't think so.
No?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Yeah? Oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah. Facebook. We're on Facebook.
Get at him. He's the man. Learn from the best. If you want the best in the permit business, you know who it is. It's the Captain. 516-513-8838. If you want the best in private purchases, entertainment, I'm more of like, I'm buying the real estate, but you're really paying for the show. You give me a call, 516-777-SOLD. That's a wrap.
Orgulloso estoy de mi herencia judía. Benjamín Ben Shlomo, cuando me llaman a la torre, así me llamo yo.